VLOOKUP function. Let's use the VLOOKUP function to fill out the gray shaded area here. So we have a chart here with 4 people's weights and heights. So let's fill out what Murad's weight and height are using the VLOOKUP function. Essentially what that does is it looks up Murad's weight and Murad's height from this table. We do equals VLOOKUP. The first thing is the lookup value. Well, we're trying to look up Murad. Okay, so that's our lookup value. Next is the table. Here's our table. Column index number. Well, what number column is the weight in? We're first starting here with weight. So it's 1, 2, and that's it. So 2. And then we want an exact match. So hit exact match, which comes up as false, and then enter. And you'll see that Murad's weight is 125, which is right. Let's try another one with the height. Well, let's do it again. Equals VLOOKUP. Lookup value, we're looking up Murad. In this table, the column index is 1, 2, 3. It's the third column. And again, we want to do false. So go down and then tab false for an exact match. Height 60 inches. And that's the basics of the VLOOKUP function. And it's especially useful when you have really, really large tables. Now let's try an advanced exercise where we try to complete the shaded area using the appropriate locking techniques. So weight, we remember, is the second column. So let's put a 2 up there. And height is the third column. So let's put a 3 up there. Now let's use the VLOOKUP function using locking techniques. So we do equals VLOOKUP. Okay. We want to look up Murad. And when we drag over the formula to height, we want it to be locked in column B, which is Murad, because later we're going to shift it over to column D. And we want it to still be locked on Murad, comma, table array. Here we're going to do an absolute lock because we don't want the table to move. Column index, we want 2. When we move that down, we want it to remain in cell and in row 16. So we're going to lock the 16. And then false. Enter. Now when you move it over, you'll notice that it stayed on Murad. It stayed on 3. It moved from 2 to 3. We wanted it to move from 2 to 3. And the table stayed the same. Now we can move it down, and we see that it moved down to Eli. It stayed in row 16 for the 2. The table stayed the same. And when we go over here, it stayed on Eli, but it moved to 3 and it kept the table the same.